Right, hello. I'm gonna go through some of the palms and the measures I'm taking to protect them. So I've got a 5 level system, if you like. The first level would be your hardiest palms. Like I've got a good position here where we've got some Camerops humilis. We've got Trachycarpus wagnerianus, and we've got a Trachycarpus fortunei. So them three there are probably some of the hardiest palms. You know, they're absolutely bulletproof in the UK. Even in Scotland, I think you'll probably get away with them. Maybe not the Camerops, but if you can keep it dry, that certainly takes the cold. So there's three there. I think again with most of the Trachycarpus species, you're pretty safe. I've got a Princeps and a Nova as well, and I don't do anything to protect any of them, and they sail through no problem whatsoever. It could be different if you got them in pots. You could bubble wrap them or slide them under a overhang of a house or summer house or something like that, just to keep the frost off them. But yeah, I don't think you shouldn't have any trouble with any of the hardier palms. Another common palm you will see in garden centres in the UK is the Phoenix canariensis, and depending on where you are in the UK, they can be hardy or not, depending if you're coastal or southern. But again, they don't take much to protect when they're smaller, at least. I've done a video on this already, so you can go back if you want the full details, but this is a 9-10-year-old specimen that's been in the ground, and when it's small, I just wrapped the trunk with a bit of fleece, and that's normally enough just to keep the trunk and the growing point frost free, or they will take frost, but you know, they don't like it. So you can just give them a little bit of protection. That'll get them through the first few winters, and they do seem to harden up quite well. At this stage, this palm has gone through a couple of really bad winters. It went through a spear pull during Beast from the East, and came back from that and grew stronger than ever. So yeah, we're looking, I don't know, good 7, 8, maybe even 9 foot, I'm not sure. So that's pretty big now. But yeah, so this will be a stage 2 palm, if you like, or level 2 protection. So you could wrap a bit of fleece around the trunk, and also in that stage, or level 2, I'd say the Washingtonia, which is another fairly common palm you'll see in the garden centres. You get them for a pretty good price as well. And incidentally, they're probably the fastest growing palm you can grow in the UK, and they do take a bit of cold. They will take damage. This is a old frond, so you can see there's some browning on the tips and down the leaf, but they'll knock out 3 or 4, 5 leaves, no problem, depending on the summer you have, and come back strong and look good. I have got several Washingtonia robusta in the ground. So there's a smaller one down there, I've got a slightly bigger one there, and another smaller one there. But interestingly, these are all planted at the same time as same size palms, so this goes to show whether that's just getting more light there or just genetics. But not all palms will grow at the same speed, even if it's the same species in the same position. Genetics does have a lot to play with it, like I say, because this one down here is, you know, the leaves aren't much bigger than my hand, and yet this one, a heck of a lot bigger, exactly the same size when I planted them in the ground last year. So yeah, they're a level 2 a protection where you can just wrap fleece around the trunk and grown point, leave the leaves out. Don't want to wrap the leaves. I'd also class the bootias. So we've got a bootia Erzfever there, which is the common name, woolly bootia. So it's got like quite a woolly trunk once it gets going. This is still a fairly small specimen. It's been in the ground a couple of years, and it's from a strap leaf, so it didn't have any pinnate leaves when it went in. It literally had 3 or 4 strap leaves, and yeah, 2 years down the line, it's got loads of nice leaves, and it's getting a fairly wide trunk on it. I'd say it's a good 5-6 inches across the trunk on that. So that you could class them as level 2 as well, if you'd want to, just to wrap a bit of fleece around the trunk and the grown point. I mean, you can literally just wrap it loosely around any fronds around the bottom and the grown point, just to give it a little bit of protection from the frosts. So level 3 would be a cold greenhouse or cold frame. So a good example of that are these. I've got some filibusters, which are a cross between Washingtonia robusta and Washingtonia foliifera. So these ones I've grown from seed last year, so they're about 1.5 years old. Grown quite well this year. Had to repot them twice. Did sell a few at the beginning of the season, but kept quite a few back. So this will be a level 3 protection if you've got palms in pots. If you haven't got a greenhouse, you could just knock up something like this. It took me about half hour to knock up. It's literally just a old pallet and a bit of a fairly thin perspex or clear plastic, and that keeps the wind, rain and the frosts off, and it does actually heat up a little bit during the day if the sun hits it, so it's a win-win. And again, there's nothing airtight about it. There's plenty of gaps in there, so you get a bit of airflow in there. But you might think it's a bit of a strange place to have these in the sort of middle of the lawn, but it's already a dead patch where we had our garden bed. So there's no grass here, so it just makes sense to have them out in the open where they're going to get full sun during the winter. So yeah, we've got these filibusters, and I've got a couple of Trachycarpus wagneranus and Fortunae in there, seedlings, not 2-3 year olds. And I've also got some canary date palms I grew from seed a couple of years back as well. So yeah, stage or level 3 protection would be cold frame or greenhouse unheated. So level 4 would be a heated greenhouse, or in my situation I'm going to leave my greenhouse unheated this year, and I'm heating the summer house. So I've done a video on this earlier in the week. I've got a lot of plants in here, so we've sort of bubble wrapped all the windows, so we still get the light in. It still heats up quite nicely in here. Even in October we're about 22 degrees at the moment, and this will be not heated as such, but we've got a little fan heater there which will allow us to circulate the air, and that'll kick in if it gets to about 5 degrees, just to keep the chill off the plants. So we've got some of the more Rebellini pygmy date palm there, and Livingstone chinensis, and we've got king palm at the back there, just stuff that wouldn't survive outside, but you know, it can take the cold. So you know, it's out of the elements and it's going to stay above 4 or 5 degrees, so they should sit dormant throughout the winter. So that is a level 4 situation, so a heated greenhouse or summer house. And obviously level 5 would be the ultimate of having stuff as a house plant indoors near a sunny window. So some of your more tropical palms, I've got a queen palm and my bottle palm I put in my front room by the window, and they sailed through winter last year, no problem. If you have watched any of my other videos, I've also got an indoor greenhouse, which I've got some of the other tropical stuff in there, so that you could say level 6, but I mean most of that stuff would survive as a house plant if you just wouldn't get any growth from them. So that is the kind of 5 levels of protection, if you like, when it comes to palms. Or you could also relate that to any sort of tropical or subtropical plant. The same with the bananas. If you've got space, you could have them as a house plant, but I don't think many people have got enough space for that, unless you've got a heated conservatory or something similar. But yeah, a lot of the stuff I had out in the borders were house plants, or I know there's no such thing as a house plant, but sold as house plants. They tolerate the indoor conditions and they are sort of tropical. Right, so that's just a little look at how I protect some of the palms. I will be building a cold frame or a shelter, if you like, over this centre bed, just due to the fact I've got some couple of the palms are going to be less tolerant of the frosts like this. And again, another Livingstona chinensis there, which has only put a leaf and a half out all summer, so I don't really want to lose that growth to frosts. And I've got a Jubea chilensis there, which is still very small, so I don't think I'd want to risk that unprotected. So again, I'll just make a wooden frame and put some corrugated clear plastic sheets on there, just to keep the wind and rain and frosts off. And that's what I done last year, and it worked a treat. I didn't even pull out the elephant ears. I just literally let them die back naturally, and they shot back next year, no problem. Done quite well. Again, we got some good sized leaves out of them, even for the poor summer we had, so that's certainly done the trick with them. Anyway, so that's a look at some palms and what you can do to protect them. I think that's going to cover it. Right, thanks for watching.